to have you with us in this edition of the Urban Debate. Tonight, we put the spotlight on the big posters row that has emerged in our country in the national capital. And effectively, viewers, the question we are asking was, is this the priority for our law enforcement agencies in times of a pandemic? A few posters put up in a part of the national capital questioning the vaccination policy of our country. And if that be the case, what about hundreds of posters and thousands of posters and banners that are put across the country, the political ones, of politicians and their parties and all the big claims that they want? What about those? We've never seen any action being taken. We've hardly ever seen anybody being arrested, at least in the national capital, for that. But when it comes to asking questions about our vaccination policy, when it comes to asking why so many vaccine doses were exported, when it comes to putting a direct question to the Prime Minister, is that a problem? Is the Delhi police now hiding behind the legal provisions to justify this crackdown, which is essentially questioning the centre? In case you haven't read up about it or watched about it, let me tell you what the story is. About a couple of thousand of posters emerge in a part of the national capital, plastered all across, asking कि हमारे बच्चों की वैक्सीन्स एक्सपोर्ट क्यों कर दी, अब्रॉड क्यों भेज दी प्रधानमंत्री जी. Now, shortly after this, the Aam Aadmi Party even took credit for putting up these posters. But 27 people have been arrested in a very fast and efficient manner by the Delhi police, which has even interrogated the printer who digitally accessed the posters and then put out these prints so that they could be pasted all over. I want to tell you that these cases have been registered under section 188 of the IPC, which essentially means disobedience to an order by a public servant. These cases have also been registered, 25 FIRs, under section 3 of the Prevention of Defacement of Property Act, and not the first time that has happened. Also, sections of unlawfully or negligently doing any act which is likely to spread infection and dangerous to life has been put. Considering that these are pandemic times, somebody stepped out and put up these posters, that's why. Section 34 of the IPC, which is common intention, has been used. Prevention of Damage to Public Property Act, Press and Registration of Books Act. All of this has been utilized. Now, while legally I am not questioning the act, I am questioning the motive, the timing, the political intentions and the ethics behind that. Because if that be the case and we love every single wall of our country, then by that logic, hundreds should be behind bars, largely from the political class, for every single political poster and banner that is shoved in our faces all around us. Let's say good evening to the panelists who are joining us on this conversation. Dr. Ajay Kumar, Congress person joining us this evening. Sanjay Hegde, Senior Advocate with the Supreme Court. Mr. Yashovardhan Azad, former IPS officer. Anila Singh of the BJP. And Reena Gupta of the Aam Aadmi Party also joins us this evening. I actually want to start off with Reena Gupta. There are so many other ways that you have. Why was this specifically chosen by your party to print out 1,800 posters and put them over across the national capital?
Tanvi, you asked a very important question that in this case of a pandemic, should this be a priority? But we've seen this time and again, Tanvi, that the BJP model is that nobody should be asking them any questions. Be it the media, be it an opposition party, be it just normal citizens of the country. This is not the first time that they're doing this in Delhi. There are reports in the past 2-3 days. In Manipur, they've arrested 2 people, 1 journalist, 1 activist. In UP, they've arrested an ex-IAS officer for asking questions on COVID mismanagement. And today, their own MLA, Mr. Rathore in UP, has said that he cannot ask questions because he would be put behind bars. So, in a pandemic where everybody is focusing just on pandemic relief, what Bharatiya Janata Party is focusing on is making sure that nobody, be it the media, be it the opposition party, be it the common people of the country, nobody should be asking them questions. And the questions that are being asked are very pertinent questions, that why is there such mismanagement in the country, be it the vaccines, be it the oxygen management, or shortage of medicines like remdesivir. So why should we be not asking questions of the ruling party? That is the function of any opposition party or any citizens of the country, if they are seeing that the government is just sleeping. And the point is, Tanvi, that even now this government is not waking up to the whole fiasco of the vaccines. We are going on asking them questions about the vaccine. Even today, I do not have clarity on how many vaccines am I going to get and from where. And as the experts have been telling us from the beginning of the pandemic, that vaccination is a very, very important tool. And if you're asking questions about vaccinations, even today there is so much confusion. All of us are being told to go to international market and float
Well,
a
there is
global tender for the
a vision
vaccines,
path
which
that
was
the
first
central
exported, and
government
now we are.
has laid out, Reena. I mean, yeah, I understand what you're saying. And of course, there is massive chaos and shortage right now on ground. The central government has now put out a vision path of how many vaccines they expect next month or the month after, and 200 crore doses actually by the end of this year. But a lot of that, of course, with trials not completed and permissions not in place. So I don't want to go down that road right now. We will come back to that in just a bit. But I want to ask a follow-up to what Reena said to even Dr. Ajay Kumar, since the Congress has also jumped onto this. Dr. Ajay Kumar, obviously it's not about raising questions or asking questions, because if that was the case, many of the opposition party leaders, including Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, would also have been arrested, since you've already put up these as your display pictures, the very same posters. But that's not happened. So can we really say this is an attempt to quash the dissent?
Look, first of all, Tanvi, let's look at it that here is a government whose prime minister has never had a press conference for 7 years. And that is why India continues to suffer. There is a lot of difference between leadership and demagoguery, and we have an example of the worst form of the latter. I'll give you 3 examples which should highlight it. On ventilators, we never asked questions. We asked questions, they never took our question. Now, BHEL, who makes turbines and these power equipment, they are making the ventilators. Some of the friends from Gujarat are making the ventilators. None of them have ever made ventilators. From the PA fund, we get ventilators which just don't work because the opposition asks the questions, but I don't say Mirror now, but lots of media friends of ours never ask the Prime Minister and the government this question because they refuse to take questions. And a lot of people in the media, some people, have definitely been more than happy to cheer them on. So that was. On oxygen, we have 75 people dying in Goa in a government medical college, which is rated as one of India's best hospitals. When we were told that oxygen supply has been resolved, there is an oxygen express, because we were asking questions and this government never answered. Now coming to vaccine. This government was so shameless that in March they announced that we have exported more vaccines than we have vaccinated our citizens of India. This is the government saying. And now we have from 45 lakhs per day, the vaccination has come down to 6 lakhs. There is no visibility. They say trust us because they are not going to answer any question. And whenever they are uncomfortable, then to divert attention and to their friends in media, they will do a CBI raid and tell arrest some Bengal politicians and let's make another news headline to divert everybody's attention. The question again is that we have put this up in support of the 25 people who have been arrested. And Delhi police has exhibited one famous quote which all the opposition says कि जब जब मोदी जी डरते हैं पुलिस को आगे करते हैं. This is what has happened. The BJP जब BJP डरती है तब तो पुलिस को आगे करती है.
Okay, so
can you imagine how ridiculous this is, arresting people who are.
let me.
I know, and one sec, let me finish. Anila ji is on the team. We have put up the poster. Delhi police should even have put up a poster. I put it up in my Facebook. I'm putting it out in my constituency. Please arrest us. Because this government refuses to answer. Starting the
Okay, let me take it. Let me Let me take it across to Anila Singh. Anila Singh, in 2020, posters were put up against CAA, NRC. Again, the Delhi police ended up filing over 500 FIRs and arresting people. When the JNU fee hike posters were put up, similar action was taken. In Delhi University during elections time, posters were put up, similar action was taken. And every single time I see, it's actually when posters are put up for something that your party doesn't like, action seems to be taken. When political posters, when state election posters by the BJP, by central election posters, or posters about your great achievements are put up all across and your leaders' faces are put all across, then no action is taken.
We all see that how Mr. Kejriwal keeps on posting, not only on social media platform, but on electronic media and in print media about his achievements. And nobody takes any action against him. So you cannot say that if Bharatiya Janata Party tells about its achievement in any form, whether in poster or in print, television, or any other platform. So what is wrong in that? Nobody is saying there is anything wrong. But the thing is, when you use common people as
so what is wrong is when you put up posters questioning the government. You are accepting that.
You have to allow me. See, Tanvi, if you have asked me a question, then you should have some patience till I answer. You have asked me why these people are being arrested.
My
because
apologies.
of
Please
the
go on.
posters. We know it very well that our country is going through a pandemic. I have understood what you have asked me, and before me, two of the panelists from opposition party, they have said a lot, and you didn't interject. So kindly allow 30 seconds. So, but the political parties who want to use common people as their political tools, who want to enhance their political willingness to degrade our Prime Minister, central government during this pandemic time, and they say that it is our right, constitution has given this right, then let me tell them that yes, this is the pandemic time, pandemic act is there. Then if you talk about your rights, then you should know about your duties as well. By creating a ruckus, by creating a false narrative, by giving a false perception, by creating a panic in the minds of the people, are you achieving something? Do you think that people are going to vote for you because you are a failed Chief Minister of Delhi State? You are a failed so-called ad hoc based your party president, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. So whatever you say, it doesn't mean that you are going to have that right. If you are going to do wrong, you have to face the consequences. The people, innocent people, auto rickshaw wala, or like some other, they were approached, they were given money. कि तुम जाओ ये पोस्टर लगाओ, ये काम धंधा दे रहे हैं अरविंद केजरीवाल जी. What is this? We have seen during Delhi riots also that how his what was the behavior of his politicians, especially if I talk about the councillor. The same scenario we are seeing in today's date. Whole of the country is going through a trauma. And these politicians say, Rahul Gandhi say, Priyanka Vatra say, Arvind Kejriwal and others, they are ganging up against whom? Do you think that, are you doing some sort of harm to Prime Minister of this country? No, sir. You are creating a panic in the minds of common people. That is absolutely wrong. That is criminal.
So you are saying that the action is justified because criticizing the Prime Minister during the pandemic is not right. You are saying that the posters were creating an impression that you don't agree with, which is why the action is justified. You are saying that by asking why were vaccines exported instead of giving it to Indian people is creating panic in the minds of people, which is why this is not allowed?
Tanvi, first of all, they are spreading rumor, wrong rumor. कि 6.5 करोड़ की वैक्सीन जो है, जो हमारे बच्चों को लग जाती, वो बाहर भेज दी. Don't they understand the statistics in which world they are living? आज हमारे पास बाहर से मदद आ रही है तो they are mighty happy. अगर 3 महीने पहले, 2 महीने पहले भारत ने मदद बाहर भेजी तो आज ये प्रश्न कर रहे, they are asking question from the government, why did you do so? We are living in a global world, sir, and there are certain commitments too, and they know it, but they want to take advantage of the common people who doesn't understand this thing. That government has exported in real sense 1 crore plus, okay. But other was the commitment. So if commitment was there, then the manufacturer has to honor that. But you want to say, no, it was the government.
Okay. Okay,
who had
okay.
exported 6.5 crores of vaccines. That is absolutely
Okay,
wrong,
okay,
and
I
you
got
have
your
to call it
point.
Pandemic Act.
Bye. I got your point.
Can I
I
comment
got
for
your
10
point. I just want to highlight though one minute. Yes, Reena, I'm coming to. Just give me 30 seconds. I just want to highlight that the obligations that you're referring to, Anila Singh, and people must know, we must present the facts to them. Out of the 6.5 crore, 6.6 crore vaccines so far that have gone out of the country, the obligations under COVAX were actually 1.9 crore. 1 crore were grants and 3.5 crore, 3.57 crore were commercial agreements which the vaccine manufacturer entered into, because they said in January we were told the problem in India is over, the order given to us was limited, so we went ahead and did contracts with everybody else. Now I want to go across to our two non-political panelists who are on this discussion, but because Reena asked for 10 seconds to you. Yes.
Tanvi, which world are they living in? Are they sleeping? There is panic in the country. There are dead bodies floating in the Ganga. People are dying because of lack of oxygen. People are dying because of lack of medicine. There is panic in the country. It is not, panic cannot be created with posters. We all have loved ones that each of us have lost in our families. So we all are under panic. And I would really, hope that this government actually wakes up now. I think they're just hoping that somehow everything will pass and they'll be able to come out and then take credit that they managed the situation very well. But I'm very sorry, there is panic all over the country. Every state is under panic, madam.
Well, for that, the politicians, the opposition parties, and a handful of media agencies could be blamed for spreading rumors, and panic seems to be the response we get every time. But may I just go across to our two other panelists? And Mr. Sanjay Hegde, I want to start off with you. The argument being presented is, well, you are also misleading people. You are spreading rumors by saying that these vaccines were meant for children, which is obviously not a fact.
Were they meant for the country or were they not meant for the country? Were they manufactured within the country or were they not manufactured within the country? What was exact dosage, the exact number of vials that you ordered? What is your population? Your population is nearly 1.3 billion people. Now, for 1.3 billion people, you had to vaccinate around at least 800 million people. To vaccinate 800 million people at 2 shots, that is 1600 million. That's 1.6 billion doses you wanted. How much did you order? You ordered about 11 million doses. Thereafter, when the entire thing blew up in the country's face, you are now scrambling around and allowing people to import, allowing states to undercut each other. But be that as it be. That is your administration. The issue right now is if somebody complains about the administration, if the administration doesn't listen, if people put out posters on the street, or even hire people to put posters on the street, who do you arrest? You arrest the daily wager who has no other job, but one small political job has come. He is earning 500 rupees. You've arrested him. You arrest the rickshawala who must have charged 100 rupees for carrying people around. You arrest the printer and the composer who would have earned a few thousand rupees. Madam, not only is there such a huge problem about vaccines, there's a huger problem about the economy, which is all hitting us. And if people earn a livelihood on a daily gig economy, you go on arresting 25 of them, those 25 people will have been called continually to the police stations and as a consequence can take up no other job. What is this? Is this administration or is it, a very loud shouting and a very firm showing of the danda? If you are going to rule by the danda, please remember the people will remember what happened, that the danda was administered at the time of great grief, great sorrow. Yeah, I was on another channel, on another program, and I do think that all the BJP spokespersons are yelling today. They are yelling at the people. Don't you dare yell. I'm sorry, that's not how you handle a situation like this. We need to see empathy from our leaders. We need to see that our leaders really care. What is happening is right now there is an enforcement of threat and a threat that you will be arrested or you will lose your livelihood. That is no way to fight with a pandemic situation. You have to carry people along. If people have asked you the question, why did you send the vaccines? It is the job of the ruling party to satisfy the people that we had no option but to send the vaccine. Or tell the truth. At that point of time, we did not think that there would be a second wave. We thought that the country needed money and that we wanted to allow the manufacturers to make money so that that money would be spent within the country. You took an administrative call which was wrong, but if you own up to it and say, sorry, we will make it up good this way, the country will listen to you. But if you threaten imprisonment, and if you shout at us, the country will definitely not listen. I was reminded of a verse in Urdu which said, "वो हम आ भी करे तो हो जाते हैं बदनाम, वो कत्ल भी करे तो चिंता नहीं होती." That is what is happening.
Okay, Mr. Azad, what is your view? Mr. Azad, what is your view? Should the government rather just answer the people and the opposition parties and take them on politically with whatever they think is a legitimate response, rather than putting people behind bars for this?
Tanvi, it was so exciting hearing the charges and the counter charges between the BJP and the opposition. And in between came Mr. Sanjay Hegde and started introducing some boring home truths, so truthfully said. Let me add some boring issues which won't be as exciting as the charges and counter charges. First, a flawed democracy, sees flawed institutions. The case in point you're referring to is referring to a flawed institution which is instituting cases like this. But let me say something on the vaccines. While the opposition may be grandstanding on every issue, criticizing the government on every, they themselves have not done too well in their own states. They have done nothing, in fact. If you are talking about vaccines, it is quite true that the vaccine purchase, when it was going on with full spirit abroad in Europe, America, and other places, we were doing different things. We were busy with Sushant Singh case, and we were busy with NCB and all that. That having said, even the states also dismantled the anti-COVID structures that they had built. So they can keep blaming each other, they can keep grandstanding, but let me tell you another thing. The creaking health structure which we have since 1947, managed by the bureaucrats, I don't think any structure like that, irrespective of the government, would have been able to take care of this pandemic. Even now, when the National Task Force has been constituted, it is only meant as an advisory body. It is not, actual decision. Dr. Ajoy Kumar, an accomplished police officer and also an accomplished doctor whom I know very well, may agree with me that the reaction to the pandemic, the way it was given to the states and even his own government, has really not been up to the mark. Now, to these, I thought Delhi police was indulging in beautification of Delhi, and that is why they were removing posts. But then I came to realize that the people who were caught are these actual, as Sanjay Hegde said, daily wagers and scooter walas, who perhaps didn't know whether these posters are a Horlicks ad or Ovaltine or they are anti-government. So their arrest is a kind of a joke. And I do understand that, a couple of dissenting voices is perhaps good for the government. It shows that you're a true leader. If there is opposition shown against a leader, we have become a socialist state like Russia or China for that matter. So I think there BJP has erred. I would even say that you have seen the case in Kolkata today in the Narada case, which happened in 2014. And 2014, the CBI took the case. In 2020, are taking place today. The arrests are right, but the timing is wrong. So why does it happen? It happens because you have a flawed democracy. It is a flawed democracy because you're holding elections during pandemic. It's a flawed democracy because you're having a Kumbh Snan where lakhs have bathed and they have gone back, inflicting others. So it is a flawed democracy. And as long as we continue with this kind of a system and we continue with this kind of a creep structure, let me tell you, even that for 105 crores, no government could have really been perfect. Yes, there have been faults. Yes, the empowered committees which were there in 2020, they did not come up to the mark. But the sheer size is impossible. But what they are doing, catching these poor daily laborers, is unfortunate. I think it's really sad, and I think sooner the better they should set not only these free, but all those even under trials in jails who are there 75 or 80 years old in all kinds of scams held or dissent against the government. Thanks, Tanvi.
Well, you've raised a very pertinent point, and I want to take this back to Anila Singh, because Anila Singh, Mr. Azad is saying, while it is a mammoth task, and you have managed a mammoth task, but which is great, but to react in such a manner does not bode well for a democracy.
You're absolutely correct, Tanvi, when you quote democracy here, when you quote constitution here, and all those people, when they come out during pandemic, creating ruckus, creating fear, creating a panic in the minds of common people, and they do each and everything, rather I'll say they don't leave any stone unturned from which they can benefit, creating panic in the minds of the people. And when any government, especially if I talk about our government, central government, they take action, then they come out, अरे रे हमारे ऊपर जाति कर दी, हमारे को तो डेमोक्रेसी में जिंदा नहीं रहने देना चाह रहे, this is our right. What about your duties? You don't know your duty? And let me tell all those people here that stop creating drama, Mr. Kejriwal. If you do not know how to govern a state, then come to Uttar Pradesh, my Pradesh where I live. And my chief minister, he is going to teach you that how a large populated state like Uttar Pradesh can be very well governed, and a small state like Delhi, a half-baked state like Delhi, you can't govern it. You're trying to create a panic there. So let me tell you one thing more here. I do not believe in the theory that if you are going to if you are going to give me one slap on my face, मैं अपना दूसरा गाल सामने कर दूंगी, मैं उठा के 2 और मारूंगी. आप जो है कानून अपने हाथ में लेंगे तो कानून अपना काम करेगा. Central government.
Okay, now I really don't know what you're talking about, Anila Singh. I was amused by the arguments you made and the comparison you made by Uttar Pradesh's data. But I think now you've taken it so far that I can't even allow you to continue with this. I don't know ये 2 थप्पड़ मारूंगी घूम के वाला क्या business है, but please refrain from these kind of comments on our channel. You can go and talk like this on any other channel you wish to, Anila Singh. I will not allow this kind of a conversation, this kind of a discourse on Mirror now on the urban debate. No, ma'am, I request you to please calm down, take a deep breath. I mean, it was hilarious to begin with when you thought that you should give the example of Uttar Pradesh, where bodies are literally right now floating and turning up in hundreds of numbers in the state of Uttar Pradesh. But for beyond that, you go and use this kind of language, not acceptable. I am sorry. This is just not happening. Anila Singh, not allowed on this show. This kind of comments are not allowed on this show.
Tanvi.
And stop them also. They
Yes,
can say
Dr.
anything.
Kumar.
Prime Minister. They can say anything to the government.
No, nobody is saying anything. नहीं, दो थप्पड़ मार दूंगे उल्टा हाथ से, ये आप क्या बोल रही हैं अनिला सिंह? ये किस तरीके का डिस्कोर्स हो रहा है यहाँ पे? प्लीज, आई डोंट नो what other media channels and debates you've been on, but this kind of a discourse is not acceptable here. Please calm down, take a deep breath and think about what you're saying here. Dr. Ajay Kumar.
So, Tanvi, first of all, I think Sanjay Hegde ji and Yashovardhan Azad ji put it up very well, and in fact, my colleagues also from the Aam Aadmi Party has at least put the perspective well, and I agree with what Sanjay ji is saying is that Anila ji and all the other people, whether it's me or any other political party, no yelling, no shouting, and no abusing for the simple reason is that I don't think we have any right to shout. We will continue to debate and we will oppose you in every statement you make if we find it wrong. But we'll do it with dignity and we accept it and we expect you to do it vice versa. But Yashovardhan Azad ji said right that all the governments have failed, and it's a fact of life. I'm not walking away from that all the even the state governments have had a lot of lacunae. But the problem with this COVID and the pandemic was that all the issues which were critical for the citizens of this country, and I would like to be corrected, whether it was oxygen, whether it was vaccine, whether it was remdesivir, all came under the purview of the government of India. The oxygen distribution, and that is where most of the preparedness of the government of India to continuously monitor the various variants of this virus was totally abrogated, totally sidelined, and no state was taking interest. The other part is, look, when the Prime Minister said Thali bajao, the whole India Thali bajaya, act of light, he led it by, then he said light off kar do, we switched off the light. Then he said throw petals, we threw petals. When the same man went around the country without mask and saying Kumbh Mela should happen, when he says water crowd, that is when the people said, hey, there is no corona. So the question again is, if the government of India has failed, and again, Yashovardhan ji, I accept that all state governments also have not covered themselves in glory. Fact of life. But in this fight, whichever the ammunition you had against this virus, whether it was oxygen, whether it was vaccine, whether it was remdesivir, whether it was genomic sequencing, whether it was setting the agenda for the pandemic, whether it was listening to scientists or not listening to bureaucrats and netas, all this comes in the purview of the central government. So my question again is, I accept that we could have done some things better wherever our governments are there, and there's no debate on that, sir. But a lot of it has been handicapped with the way the government. Now today you tell me, Maharashtra, Punjab, how can we go and get global? How can we get vaccine? How can we? They're forced us to do global tenders. They're forced us at oxygen. In their own hospital in Goa, 75 people have died because of lack of oxygen. So my question again is to the people is that if there is a fault distribution, 80% of the government of India, 20% of the state governments accept it. But the Prime Minister was a leader, and I want to ask Anila ji one question. The only leader in modern democracy, apart from Russia, which calls itself a democracy, who's never taken questions, Anila ji. The government doesn't take questions. We have a health minister who said the people should eat dark chocolates if they get depressed. Dark chocolates, 81% of this country are undernourished. And you tell people of India to eat dark chocolate? I mean, how unkind can you be? How cruel can you be? And how, insensitive can you be? When you 80% of the World Bank report on India's malnutrition says 80% are malnourished. And you tell them Indians, bhai sahab, aap dark chocolate kha lo. Your mood will get better.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, yeah, I mean, if the option of consuming cow urine is not there, perhaps, and you don't like that flavor, then you can go ahead with dark chocolate. Anila Singh, would you want to respond to this before I go to our other panelists?
Can I
You
come
have
in?
to just brief me because voice is not very clear. So just Dr. Ajay Kumar, what did he say? I mean, voice is not very clear.
Dr. Ajay Kumar is asking what the priorities for the government are instead of talking about the pandemic and the challenges which are there, right from the drugs availability to oxygen to the vaccine. Why is it that the health minister instead giving advices like consume dark chocolate that will help in times of a pandemic?
You know what I want to say here, whether it is about health minister or any other person or any other leader, if they give some sort of advice, why you have to make fun? If a person is from Bharatiya Janata Party, you have to have criticized. That is the main problem here. Like in this time, in this crucial time, when whole of the country should fight against the virus, these people are fighting against Prime Minister of this country. A prime minister who is leading this country, who is leading this battle against this virus. I mean, they are trying to pull his leg. So instead of becoming the strength of the India, they are trying to weaken the country, and we are not going to allow that. So whether we talk about the nutrition fact, credit goes to Congress. लोग कहते हैं इंदिरा हटाओ, मैं कहती हूँ गरीबी हटाओ. हाँ 60 साल आप राज करके यहाँ चले गए, गरीबी बढ़ाकर छोड़कर चले गए. Since 7 years, this government is working day in and day out to reduce the poverty. Like these are the two witches, poverty and disease. I mean, Narendra Modi ji wants to kill these two witches in my country. But the thing is, you want to nurture them. You want to nurture these witches, poverty and disease. So what to do? He is here. He is
Okay.
right, and he is going to.
Okay. If I may.
Can I come in?
Okay, no. I don't want this to go further. Please, may I? No. May I? 1 minute, Dr. Ajay Kumar. I want to go back to the key point that I started off this conversation with. If I may, please, to Sanjay Hegde and then to Mr. Yashovardhan Azad, this question. I have a larger concern about how the governments are reacting to when tough questions are posed or disturbing facts are put across. It started with multiple actions taken by the UP state government, where the Supreme Court had to come in, Mr. Sanjay Hegde, and say this kind of harassment and action against people for voicing their concerns on social media will not be acceptable, and if further action is taken, we will see it as contempt of court. Now, should we just go back to the court and ask them for an entire list of such things? Because earlier it was social media, now it's posters, tomorrow it will be, and it has been, a news story which is carried on a channel or published in a paper. Then where do you draw the line?
Absolutely. The Supreme Court did set a very clear signal. And please look at the context. There were people who were asking for oxygen, for remdesivir, from a desperate cries for help, and the reaction of the most beautiful state of UP with its very patriotic citizens was what? We will put you down under NSA. We will arrest you under NSA. That is when the Supreme Court said that if there are threats to people who have asked for help on social media, then we must make it clear that we will take contempt action. After that, the state of UP may have backtracked a bit, but when the state of Delhi, which is run by the Lieutenant Governor, and the Delhi police, which reports directly to the Home Ministry, does not seem to be similarly inhibited. They took action against these posters. What happened to our vaccines? In fact, Tanvi, I came across a rather nice cartoon where a policeman was arresting somebody for putting up posters which were entirely blank. So the fellow says, look, these are blank posters. Then they say nothing. So the policeman says, I know what your man ki baat is. That is the level of... That is the level.
Okay. Point taken, Mr. Azad. Again, I come to you on this. There may be legitimate, obviously action required when people are intentionally spreading false news, intentionally misleading people or spreading rumors. But there have been far too many instances as well, Mr. Azad, where action is being taken simply to control a kind of narrative that is being built. Can it really be done in times of a pandemic when the situation is on such a large scale?
See, let me take you back, Tanvi, to that excellent Supreme Court decision only recently. The Madras High Court had called the Election Commission, murderers, and there was what transpired during the court session, and then when the Election Commission objected to it, the Supreme Court said yes, media has a right to project almost everything, which is there happening in the court. Now, that's a very momentous kind of a decision, that this is the kind of transparency, if you're talking about, that obviously dissent of against the government or government's decision cannot be taken as a dissent against the nation. I mean, government is different. People have a right to protest. And after all, this is a very legitimate protest talking about vaccines, because there are vaccine shortage everywhere. You know, I feel bad, because I think maybe it is also more loyalty, more loyalty than the king or something like that, which is happening, because otherwise Delhi police, which is so busy in so many things, is doing wonderful work during cremation, is doing wonderful work, giving oxygen green corridors. It is helping out the elderly. I tweeted the other day about their good acts. So obviously, this is something which is they should not get into at any cost. This thing which I want to say is that this is the time for the government to get back and involve more and more of the opposition in trying to get their ideas. And some of the ideas which have been given by the opposition are very good. Of course, there is a lot of grandstanding, needless criticism also. But this is not the kind of reaction which Anila Singh ji gave Do Thapad Marna. This is not really what a government should do. Government is too big. The Prime Minister is too big. The last point I want to make is responding to Dr. Ajay Kumar and telling him where the states also faulted. Look at the oxygen you're talking about. That Nandarbar collector, a young collector, set the oxygen plants. There is that municipal commissioner of Mumbai who has solved this problem. Thirdly, why didn't the CEOs of the big hospitals who are there free land in various? Why didn't they have on their premises oxygen plants? Why? Because it takes a space, because it's nice.
Yeah.
Now, these are things we have to do a deeper study, and can't blame the central government all the time. We have all committed mistakes, but this is not the kind of mistake I would do, that catching poor people for putting posters.
No, you're absolutely right, Mr. Azad, and we've spent night after night, raising valid questions, not just of one government, but even the state governments, because we have to remember, health is a state subject, and not just that. In times of a pandemic, everybody from the local administration and junior-most officer to the topmost at the central level needs to come together and do their bit. But unfortunately, what happened is, after the first wave, I think everybody took it for granted. Even the announcements, even the work that was initiated in the first wave during the first lockdown was abandoned. Whatever little work was actually done was dismantled. So all the healthcare infrastructure that was created in many parts was dismantled. The ventilators that were made were forgotten about. Nobody tested them. Nobody trained the staff about it. Nobody went after the hospitals asking them, what is your plan of setting up your own internal oxygen plants? Nobody made a plan to follow up on their promises of home delivery of oxygen, to say, okay, if there is a second wave, which there would have been and had to be, just like there will be a third wave, what will we do? None of the states, barring a couple of them, did this future planning. At least some of them in the month of February realized which way we were headed and began to at least do some work. Others, including the poll-bound states, were so busy that they didn't realize it until the tsunami of cases hit them. So yes, it is correct that every state government and the center is accountable for how things have been managed. Obviously, a lot of good has been done. A lot of good work has been done, and which is why we managed to keep our death count so low up till now. But when things do go bad, questions will be asked. When there is evidence of mismanagement, when there is evidence of not preparing well in advance, wasting away time, wasting away resources, people dying when they shouldn't be dying, then questions will be asked. And instead of denying it, instead of calling it a propaganda or a false narrative or booking people or putting people behind bars, it would do well for any government, even some of the state governments who've responded in such a manner, and the central government, of course. It would do well for any government authority to listen, to react, to be honest, to admit and course correct. That is the need of the hour. not to scare people into silence. Thank you for joining us on this conversation.